Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate being able to have some time with you for our First Falcons community meeting. We're going to give it just a moment so that folks can join us in this virtual space, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Well, thank you all so much. We truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy days to be here with us to connect with some wonderful folks that we have here at Bentley to learn a little bit more around what it is to be a First Falcon and what these next few months are going to look like as a new Falcon joining us here at Bentley. Today, we are joined by students, families, supporters, and some wonderful faculty and staff. And we really like to have this opportunity to come together as a community because we recognize that for our new Falcons, they have been with their family members for much longer than they have been with us. And so we really want to make sure that this can be a collective conversation as we get started on your journey to being a Bentley Falcon. During our time together today, we will be talking a little bit about our new Falcon Experience, which is our university onboarding process. These are all the steps and supports and preparation to get our students prepared to start their experience here at Bentley. So we'll share some more around that. We're going to talk about what is it to be a First Falcon and what does the history of that look like here at Bentley. We'll talk about some wonderful opportunities and experiences for you to be aware of as you start this journey. And then we will end with some questions and answers. On your screen, you will see a little button that says question and answers, and you are welcome, or questions, I'm sorry. You can put those questions in there throughout the presentation as that comes up, but we will be getting to those questions at the end. Additionally, we are recording this session. We are incredibly fortunate to have a global campus, and we recognize we could not find a time that would work for everyone. And so this is being recorded. So if you'd like to come back to this at a later time, you'll have access to do so. Or if there are other family members, or if your student couldn't join you tonight and you want to ensure that they have this information as well, they'll be able to access that. So we're going to start with some introductions, and I'm going to turn it over to my fellow panelists to start the introductions, and then we'll get started with tonight's content.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jane DeLeon Griffin. I am Associate Provost for Student Success here at Bentley. I'm also a faculty member in the Modern Languages Department, and I've worked at Bentley for about 15 years. It'll be 15 years on July 1st. So welcome. Very excited to be with you all tonight.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Hubachek. I have the honor and privilege of being the Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Campus Life here at Bentley. I'm going into my 4th academic year. I'm excited to be with you on this webinar and share some amazing things we do with our First Falcons.
And Nilangi Gunasekara works with me as program manager in the Office of Student Success. She is going to be joining us in a little bit. So if you see another panelist pop on, you'll know who that is.
Wonderful. And hello again and welcome. My name is Bobby Lenkekik, and I'm the Executive Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding. And I have been here at Bentley. I'm going into my 16th year, which is so hard to believe, but it's just been such a wonderful community. It just keeps me coming back. So really grateful to spend some time with you today.
Hey everyone, my name is Caroline Horn. I'm the Associate Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding, and I am wrapping up my 4th academic year here.
All right, so we're going to start by talking about this new Falcon experience. And we start with this because this is what our students are currently experiencing. You've made this decision to come here to Bentley, you've deposited, and you've said, all right, let's get this started. And so we just like to share a little bit about this new Falcon experience so that you can understand all that goes into this process and what support is available for all of our new Falcons. Because regardless of experience, this is new for everyone. And so we like to make sure that people are aware of what this process is, how you can get your questions answers, how you can feel connected to the institution. Because we know that when our community members feel connected, that leads to a sense of belonging. And the more that our students feel a sense of belonging, the higher that they are to succeed. So we really want to work towards that. And we're going to share some information around how our First Falcons are already succeeding towards the end of this presentation. So let me tell you a little bit more about the new Falcon experience. As I mentioned, this is our onboarding process. And as we think about this, it really falls into three different buckets: our preparation, our support, and our connection. As we think about preparation, these are really the tools that allow our students and families to feel that you have that baseline level of information to really get started. So we have this wonderful orientation program that students are required to complete, but family members are invited to participate in. It is not very long. It's probably about 75 minutes. So it doesn't take a long time, but it is something that's incredibly helpful. It is something that you can take at your own pace. So if you want to review 5 or 10 minutes of it and come back, it will remember where you left off. So it's really user-friendly and is a wonderful opportunity for you to really start to dig into more details around what Bentley has to offer and how you may leverage these resources and opportunities. We also have a fabulous academic orientation and support around course registration. We know that once people deposit here at Bentley, the two things that they start thinking about is, how am I registering for my classes? And if students will be living on campus, how do I make sure that I get that paperwork taken care of? So we really work intentionally with our team and undergraduate academic advising to make sure that there is intentional support for our incoming students in a variety of ways. So there are some quick videos that folks are able to access and review. There's also worksheets that you can utilize to help you to feel prepared. And then there's also optional advising. So if you'd like to work with one of our wonderful advisors, you also have that opportunity. Once you register for courses, if you still have questions, we have time set aside during our orientation program, which I'll speak about in just a moment, so that you can work one-on-one with a staff member. So it's really intentional and really serves as an opportunity for our students to feel supported in this process. The other piece I like to mention around preparation are our new Falcon tasks. So these are the logistical tasks that our students need to complete. They're not very glamorous, but they are essential to getting started here at Bentley. That may look like submitting health forms. So there are health records on file here at Bentley, or this may be submitting information with our student financial services team. This is something that our students will work really closely with us on, and family members may also choose to help to support their student through that. But through every single step, we try to make sure that we're providing additional resources and information, and then also providing that support so that we can help you navigate that. As we think about support, we have a few different resources. Our quick guide and our new Falcon Experience website are really user-friendly and accessible and allow you to find the information that you need just in time. The other pieces that are helpful for our new Falcons are our weekly newsletter. So this goes to all new students, and also our family members are copied on that. So you can see what your student is receiving and help them to continue to stay on track with this new Falcon experience. That newsletter can also be found on the New Falcon Experience website. So if you have some family members or supporters who aren't in the system receiving emails, you can also share that with them to keep them involved in this process as well. And then we also have a New Falcon question form. So this form, a student or a family member can submit. And what it allows you to do is put in your question, and then we help to identify the best person on campus who can help to support and answer that question for you. So it's a really great resource to centralize that support for all of our new students and their families. And the last piece that I like to highlight is connection. And as I mentioned, we really want to help our students feel connected and get to that sense of belonging within their new community. So a few pieces that will help to make that happen are our New Falcon Nestworking events. So these are online virtual social events for our new students that really help them to start to connect with fellow new students and upper class students, ask some questions, also win some Bentley swag. So some items, whether that's a sweatshirt or whether that, is a water bottle or whatever that might be, but to really be proud that you are now a Bentley Falcon. And then all of this work will really happen within a platform, an app called Campus Groups. This is our engagement platform that we use for our students beyond the New Falcon Experience. So for students, if you are looking to join a club or organization or attend an event on campus, you'll be able to find that information in this platform. So it's really nice because it's a platform that you will continue to use during your time at Bentley. So it allows you to get a little bit of practice with that tool. Orientation. Orientation is a signature program that we hold at Bentley. If you have students or other friends who are also going to university, they may reference, oh, I'm going to an orientation, or I have my orientation. And that looks different at every university. So some folks may just have an online program. Some may have a program in the middle of the summer. But at Bentley, our program aligns with the start of the academic semester. So right before classes start, that's when we hold our orientation. And that's really meant so that we can have the entire community together to participate in these essential programs and workshops, have access to faculty, staff. If you're living on campus, you'll have the ability to move into your residence hall and really get started on this first semester here at Bentley. So that is a very quick overview of what this New Falcon Experience looks like, but I want to invite Caroline to share a little bit more before we transition into what it means to be a First Falcon here at Bentley.
Thank you. So at this point, students will be able to see our full checklist in Bentley Connect, and will be able to see an outline in the New Falcon Quick Guide. But we really wanted to quickly discuss some important first steps because they will help you to prepare to maximize June and July, where really a bulk of our New Falcon Experience tasks are due. These tasks include submitting your housing application and contract, submitting your immunizations and health records, and preparing for course registration. I also know that there was a question in our Q&A about Bentley Beginnings, and that link is now in the Q&A. That is live for all students to take and complete now. And then for our orientation program, so BL mentioned that it is a fall orientation program, and we really focus on these 5 different pieces. So the first piece is community. We really want to welcome all of our new Falcons to the university setting by providing intentional opportunities for interaction with the community. We have orientation leaders that will help to facilitate small group conversations. We'll have large group sessions during orientation. So really a lot of time for students to really start to understand what it is like to be part of the Bentley community. Our orientation program is also built on the Bentley values, so we really want to provide new students with a shared understanding of what that looks like to be part of the Bentley community and to really live our institutional values. We will focus on academics. What does it look like to be a student here at Bentley, to be successful as a student here? And so we really spend some time introducing students to the academic community and resources. That looks like having sessions about what does it look like to be a first year student, having some campus tours available for students so they're able to navigate campus for their first day of classes, and really a lot more on different resources available to them. Engagement, we want students to engage in social, educational, and cultural programs which enhance their well-being and experience. So there will be various ways for them to really engage in the community during orientation. We have social programming every single night for students to really just engage in the fun social atmosphere, but also really allow them to learn more about the different resources within student affairs and also outside of student affairs. And then we do have some traditions, and so we really want students to learn more about those traditions. Some happen on that first move-in day, where we have a Falcon walk for students, where they're able to walk all together with their family members for convocation, and the whole community is there to welcome them. And then we have some other traditions that they'll learn more about during the orientation program as well.
Wonderful. And what we really wanted to also emphasize and highlight is that there is a support system here at Bentley for our students, for our families. And right now I want to provide a brief amount of information around some of the focus areas exclusive to our Student Affairs Division. But it's really important for me to emphasize that the support that our students receive goes far beyond just what I'm going to share with you all today. We have fabulous resources across the institution, but just so that you have a quick glimpse of what some of this looks like as we support our students, just wanted to share that. So as we think about a variety of focus areas and how we can really help to transform an experience for our students and provide support, learning, growth, and development. As we think about that, we think about our students' well-being, and we think about that really from a variety of lenses. So whether that is social, emotional, physical, spiritual, how are we ensuring that they're creating a sense of self-care and well-being as you're navigating this new chapter? As we think about these new experiences that students are going to have at the university, how are we ensuring that the space that we're providing creates equal opportunity and equity and inclusion for our community members? We recognize that we are incredibly fortunate to have folks that are representing all different lived experiences. And how do we ensure that we can provide a space for us to all gain a deeper appreciation for one another? And the last piece, and Caroline really highlighted this, is how do we think about social connection? We know that our students are here for a fabulous academic experience where they're really growing their skills and their knowledge and really preparing for life beyond Bentley. And part of that is really having this sense of belonging and community, whether that's in the classroom, outside of the classroom. And so how do we really work to build and foster that, whether that is with an on-campus job, whether that's joining a club or organization, whether that is being a part of our service learning experiences. There's just so many opportunities to really enhance the learning that our students are having in the classroom. So we really just like to put an emphasis on this, that we do have a team of folks that are here, that we care for our students, and we're really here to help make sure that they can thrive. So this is a lot of information that we have shared with you to kind of create this baseline foundation, but we recognize that everyone is here today because we have this tremendous opportunity to welcome you in as First Falcons. And so now I'm going to hand it over to Jane to talk a little bit about what does the history look like of our First Falcons here on campus, and then what are some of these opportunities that you exclusively have as a First Falcon.
Thank you, Bobby Lynn. All right, so we are incredibly proud of our history here at Bentley when it comes to first generation college students. You're all here tonight because you are the first in your families to go to college, or you are the family members of a student who is first in their family to go to college. And so we want to walk you through a little bit of what is the history of first generation college students at Bentley. And there we go, thank you. So it starts with our founder, Harry Bentley, founded the university, which was not a university at that time. It was a night school in downtown Boston, and for all men, I might add, in 1917. And he himself was the first person in his family to get a college education. And he recognized the value that education has on families, on individuals, on social mobility, generational wealth, and all of those things. And that was a driving motivator for him starting his night school. Fast forward over 100 years, we are still here and we are still recognizing and celebrating our first generation college students, just like Harry Bentley. And so we went a little bit dormant for 100 years, where we obviously had a lot of first gen students at the university. But in 2020, we decided to make a strategic decision to really celebrate and recognize the importance of being the first in your family to get a college education. So we started doing that with something called the First Gen Presidential Fellows Program. If anyone here has been accepted into that program, shout out to you. I am deeply connected to that program, and you probably spoke to me on the phone back in March. And then the year after that, we started, well, actually 2 years after that, we started another program for First Gen students called Bentley First. That was in 2022. So those are our two scholarship programs that are uniquely for first generation college students. In between those two things, in 2021, we were recognized by a national organization called the Center for First Generation Student Success because of all of the initiatives that we had put in place to support our first gen students. We got that national recognition that we still have today, and we have to get recertified every year for that. So we are very proud to be a first gen forward institution. In 2022, we started calling our first generation college students First Falcons. So you heard Bobby Lynn use that phrase a lot in her build up to my portion of the presentation. And you may have been wondering, what does that mean? New Falcon Experience, First Falcon, what are all these words? First Falcon at Bentley means someone who is the first generation in their family to go to college. So that is why you've all been invited here tonight, and we're going to talk about all the ways that we support our beloved First Falcons. In 2023, we started a chapter of Alpha Alpha Alpha, also known as Tri Alpha, which is a National Honors Society exclusively for first generation college students. And our students here at Bentley, our First Falcons, can apply to become members of Tri Alpha. You have to have a certain minimum GPA requirement and some other academic components. If you meet those criteria, you can be inducted into the Honor Society. It comes with a lot of cool leadership opportunities, and it's also just a great way to demonstrate your academic achievement to potential employers. Also in 2023, Bentley launched something called Defined Communities in our residence halls, and we have a defined community exclusively for our First Falcons. That is an opportunity for our first generation college students to live with each other on the same floor in a residence hall. And I know from working very closely with our First Falcons how valuable this is to first year students to be in a community, an environment in the residence halls, surrounded by people who are going through a similar experience as you are. I know people have formed incredibly strong friendships living in the defined community for first gen students. So I really encourage all of you to consider that as you're thinking about your housing selection. Even if you know that you want to room with somebody else, if that other person is also a first gen student, you can select to room with them in that defined community. And I see that my colleague, Nilangi Gunasekara, has joined us. So welcome, Nilangi. We're happy to have you here. And we can go on to the next slide. I wanted to give you a little window into what our First Falcons are like today. So we are very proud of the academic success of all of our first gen students. We have across all of our undergraduate students, 21% of all undergrads at Bentley are First Falcons. That's up 4 percentage points from 2020. So 5 years ago, we've made that increase in the number of students on campus who are first gen. Those students stick around. 93% of those students stay at Bentley year over year, and we are incredibly proud of that statistic because compared to national statistics, it is very high. And so obviously they are feeling supported and they are feeling successful here at Bentley, and they stay here. So we are very, very proud of that. Our first generation college students have a 96% completion rate in their coursework. That means that 96% of the courses that they register for, they complete. They don't withdraw, they don't get an F, they finish that class, they get credit for that class towards graduation. That improves the time that it takes you to finish your Bentley degree. So we're very proud of that statistic also. 95% of first gen students who graduated in 2024 were placed in a full-time, part-time job or in a graduate school program. And so we, that is right in line with our students who are not first gen, and shows that, recruiters, companies, employers are valuing the education that our first gen students have here at Bentley. And those first gen alums, when they leave Bentley and go into the workforce, make a median starting salary for a full-time job of $75,000 a year. So that is a very broad overview of what you're coming into, the community that you're joining. I want to give you a few more statistics about how our first gen student population is slightly different from our what we call multi-gen student population. That just means students who are not first gen, who are not our First Falcons. Here you can see the ethnic racial breakdown of our multi-generation student population, and it's predominantly white. It's 60, a little over 60% white, followed by the orange is international student, that dark green is Hispanic, the light blue is Asian, and then multiracial is purple, Black African American is the light green, and that small sliver is unknown. 8.5% of those students are Pell eligible, which is a way that we measure kind of socioeconomic standing and the financial standing of the family. So that would be our more financially needy students. And 37% of those students are female. So we do have a majority of white male population in our multi-generational student community here. Now, if you look at that compared to our first gen student population, it's quite different. So you do see that the white portion of our first gen student community is still the largest, but instead of being 60%, it's 30%. And it is followed directly by our Hispanic population, which is 26.2%. And then by our Asian student population, first gen is 19%. And then importantly, the Black African American student population is 8.6, and that's compared to our non-first gen students where it's 2.6. So you see quite a big difference in our first gen students compared to our multi-gen students. It's a much more diverse student body. We also have a significantly higher number of students who are Pell eligible, 44% compared to 8.5. And the thing I am most proud of is that the gender parity is so much closer in the first gen student population. So we have 47% of our first gen students are female as compared to 37 in our multi-gen student population. So obviously, we love our first gen students for many reasons. They bring a diversity of experience, background, worldview, perspective to our campus that we highly value, and that is highly valuable to employers when they leave here. And I'm going to throw it over to Lauren.
Hi, everyone. Excited to talk to you about our community and academic belonging portion for our First Falcons. I think I have the best part of the presentation because I get to talk about a lot of the fun things that we get to do with students. But you'll see here on the screen that we host a First Falcons Week. It's typically in November. It's a national first week for first gen students across the nation. And we do this with a host of activities. So there's some things that are more formal and lunches and engagement opportunities. Specifically, this one was this past year with a author of the First Gen, a memoir, a book that was created for first gen students. Alejandra was an incredible speaker and provided signed copies of her books to all of our students. Very engaging, sharing her first gen experience, which a number of our audience members related to. In addition, on First Falcons Week, we do informal coffee chats, connections. What we're really attempting to gain here in this space is understanding what's the first couple of weeks at Bentley been like? What's the experience you've had? What do you need? What are you looking for? Where do you want to be connected that you haven't been connected yet? Of course, we do a lot of fun activities this week. So yes, we invite puppies to campus and we do activities, stress relieving activities or painting activities, and then share artwork across our campus. We are a business school, of course, but we love the creative arts. And so there's lots of activities there. The next two programs I'm going to talk about are my favorite programs of the academic year, but in the first couple of weeks of school, you'll see us do a First Falcons pinning ceremony. This is kind of one of our bookend experiences for students. So this is the beginning of your journey here at Bentley, where you see that pin that the student is holding in that yellow bag, but you receive that First Falcon pin. And that pin is placed on you by a fellow student, a family member, a friend, a faculty member, a staff member, someone who you feel connected to. And we acknowledge your experience here as a First Falcon at Bentley. It's an event that's beautiful. Folks are impacted by this event and their experience here, as well as families who are able to join us, get to see their student receive their pin. And our goal is that you save that pin and keep it, because in 4 years, when you walk across that graduation stage, our goal is that that pin is on your cap and gown, so that folks can see that you are a First Falcon and you are celebrated. The next, the courting ceremony, which is kind of the culminating bookend experience, are the cords that we provide you. Cords are significant in our graduation ceremony, in our commencement ceremony. Students wear cords to represent different things that they were connected to or belonged at Bentley. And so you'll see the blue and white and teal cord are tied together and placed on students at a very beautiful courting ceremony where we celebrate the end of your Bentley experience as an undergraduate student. Now, it doesn't mean you're forever not connected to us, because you are, as an alum and potentially as a graduate student. But this opportunity is for us to recognize the 4 years of your learning here at Bentley, your engagement opportunities, celebrate what you've done. And so we have our First Falcons courting ceremony at the end of the year. We just celebrated it a couple weeks ago. Feels like a while ago for some of us, but it was just a couple weeks ago. And it was really exciting to see everyone cheering for, maybe it was their first roommate, or maybe it was their friend that they made at a club in our organization, or maybe it was their classmate. But sharing that excitement as students were courted for the graduation ceremony. So then folks wear their pin and those cords on their over their gowns and regalia for commencement. And it's lovely to see at commencement all the students walking in with all their decorated regalia to share their experience at Bentley. So those are bookend programs. Now, throughout the entire time you're here as a student, there's a variety of other things that you can engage in that are specific to you as a First Falcon. And it may be our career community. It could be our Tri Alpha, which Jane talked about. It could be connecting with some of our staff that are specifically dedicated to the work that you are doing. So we have staff in student affairs, we have staff in academic services, we have staff across our campus that are committed directly to you. And so they will host programs and events and coffee and lunches and dinners and activities for you to engage and share what you need here at Bentley. So we're excited for you coming to our campus, and we're ready to meet you. We know there's a few more months of summer, but we are excited for August.
All right, and I'm now going to talk to you about something very exciting that is a first ever at Bentley, and you and your students have the opportunity to participate in it for the first time. It's called the First Falcons Connect opportunity. What this is a cohort-based learning experience that knits together formative moments and experiences throughout your first year at Bentley. And you experience all of those moments together in a cohort. So here is a picture of a cohort of first generation college students. These are students that are now going into their second year this fall. They're rising sophomores. They happen to be in the First Gen Presidential Fellows program. That program will be participating in First Falcons Connect, but we are inviting everyone, all of you, whether you're in that program or not, anyone who is a first-gen student who is coming in at their first year this fall is invited to participate in this program. So you'll be placed in a cohort and you'll go through your whole first year at Bentley with that tight-knit community of other students who are going through the same thing that you are, have a very similar background as you, and they are there to support you. You're going to become really close friends with these people. They're going to be a social network for you, study buddies, really a foundation on which to build a very successful Bentley career. So I'll go through a little bit of what the roadmap looks like for First Falcons Connect. This is a total optional program. You can choose to be part of this. You can choose not to be part of this. Totally up to you. Doesn't cost a thing. And you're just going to be a regular Bentley College student, but in this cohort experience. So it starts with orientation. And Caroline mentioned a lot about orientation. You're going to be moving into the dorms. You're going to be on campus before classes start. And your orientation experience is built around a group, right? And so that group of students that you arrive to meet at your first day of orientation, that is your cohort for First Falcons Connect, should you choose to participate in this program. All of the people in your cohort, all of the new Falcons in your cohort are also going to be first generation college students. And importantly, the peer leader, the orientation leader, who is an upper class Bentley student who's leading you through the orientation process, is also a first generation college student. So they share that experience and that identity with you. Then you're going to move out of orientation. You're going to start your first week of classes at Bentley in the fall. And you're all going to be taking a class called Falcon Discovery Seminar. Whether you choose to be part of First Falcons Connect or not, you're going to be taking First Falcon Discovery Seminar. It's a requirement for every first semester college student at Bentley. So the students in your Falcon Discovery Seminar class are going to be your First Falcons Connect cohort. Same students that you had in orientation. The faculty member that you have, the professor teaching that class, is also going to be a first generation college student. And what's special about Falcon Discovery Seminar is that it has an embedded peer leader co-teaching the class with the professor. That's an upper class student. That student is also going to be a first generation college student. So now you're seeing what we're trying to build here is a really strong community to surround you by people who share your experience and your identity and can help support you as you make this huge transition from high school into college. That gets you through your summer, fall orientation throughout your fall semester. Now you're going into your spring semester of your first year. You're going to take a class called Career Design Introduction, CDI 101. It is one of the most popular things for first year students here at Bentley. It introduces you to how to create a resume, how to write a cover letter, how to start thinking and preparing yourself for your professional career, which is years away, but we always at Bentley want students to start thinking about this as early as possible. And so once again, your same cohort of students that you've been with since orientation, Falcon Discovery Seminar in the fall, they're going to be the same students in your class for Career Design Introduction. The staff person who teaches that course, also a first generation college student. The upper class student that teaches that course with the staff member, also a first generation college student. We are tacking on additional content to that course. Normally we teach that course, it's just Career Design Introduction. Only for First Falcons Connect are we adding additional content of financial literacy. So you're going to be, in addition to learning how to write your resume, how to write a cover letter, you're going to be learning key fundamentals of financial literacy that will help prepare you not only how to get through college in a financially stable way, but how to leave school and really build a solid financial foundation for yourself and your families moving forward. Now, that's the roadmap. Those are all the experiences. I've talked a little bit already about who are the people that are going to be with you along that journey. All of the students in your cohort are going to be students in your year who are first gen. All of your teachers and student mentors who are going to be with you are also going to be first gen, but there are other support people that we're going to provide to you if you choose to join this program, who are going to be there to help you navigate your first year at Bentley. And guess what? No surprise, they're also first generation college students. So that's going to include your academic advisor, your financial aid counselor, your career coach and peer mentor. That's going to be the people teaching that career design introduction course. If you choose to live in the defined community, your RA and your resident director in the residence halls also going to be a first gen college student. And then we have a really valuable resource on this campus who couldn't be with us tonight, but her name is Vanessa Velasquez, and she is our first gen experience specialist, also a first generation college student. And her sole job is to support first gen students on our campus and to work with First Falcons. So she's going to be connected to you also. So you're going to have this whole support network of people around you who have gone through the same thing that you're going through, have been in your shoes, know what it feels like to be a first year, first gen student. And they're going to be there to really support you as you make this transition into college and into Bentley. If you choose not to be part of this program, you're still going to be supported. You're still going to have an academic advisor. You're still going to have a financial aid counselor. You're still going to have Vanessa. You're still going to have all of these people around you to support you. But you're just the difference between this program and not being in this program is that cohort experience of being with the same group of students in these different moments from orientation all the way through the end of your first year. And that additional financial literacy that you're going to get as part of career design introduction. Here is a QR code. I encourage you to take a look at our website, learn more about this program, and if you're interested, sign up. We still have lots of spots available. We're going to have 3 cohorts in this pilot year of running this program for the first time. And so one is going to be dedicated to that first the presidential first gen presidential fellows program, and then we're going to have 2 other cohorts of First Falcons who are not in that program. So we have space for up to 40 people to be in this program, and there's still slots available. So strongly encourage you to apply to this unique opportunity, be the first person to ever do this at Bentley University. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out to me. I'll put my contact information in the chat. You can ask me or Nilangi any questions that you have about this, and thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for sharing this information. I know that we just provided a lot of content for everyone, but as I hope you can see, we are incredibly passionate about bringing in our new students and especially supporting our First Falcons. So what we're going to do now is open it up to any questions that you may have. So if you haven't had a chance to do so, please go ahead and submit those questions using the button on your screen that has the little Q&A with the question mark. And we'll go ahead and start answering any questions that you may have. We did such a great job of sharing all of this information and resource. Great. We're getting some questions to come in. Wonderful. So one of our questions that just came in is around when is move-in day? And so to share some of that information for folks, the large university move-in day is on August 28th. That is the day that our students would move into the residence halls. However, if you are interested in any of our pre-orientation programs, so that would be our Mosaic Experience, which is hosted by our Multicultural Center. And this program is predominantly for students of color and their allies. It focuses a lot around identity awareness and finding your community and connection at Bentley prior to the start of the semester. It's a wonderful program. We actually did a spotlight of this program this week in our newsletter, so feel free to take a look at that if that's something that interests you. There is an application process But really it's just to gather to make sure why folks are interested and that they have the availability for that time commitment. Jane mentioned our defined communities. So if that is something that you find yourself applying for and getting into, our defined communities do arrive earlier. So they would arrive on the 26th. So August 26th is when our students in the defined communities would arrive to campus, get settled into their residence halls. And then we have some exclusive programming for that community over the next 2 days before the university orientation starts off. And the last program that happens in advance of the university orientation is our international student welcome and orientation. And this program would start on August 26th. So if you are a student that is studying on a visa, that is the time frame that folks would join us. Right now, the housing application and contract is open for students. So you should have received that email from the residential center. And the deadline to sign that contract and submit the application is June 11th. And so we really want to make sure that if that is something that you are looking to participate in, you're hoping to live on campus, that you really do get that application in on time. That team will be continuing to communicate what those move-in and arrival dates look like. But once we wrap up our session, we're going to show you another QR code for that new Falcon question form that I mentioned. So at any point, if you have questions around any of the content that we discussed today or anything else that comes up, you can always direct it through that new Falcon question form as well. And we did get one more follow-up question about the application process for housing. So as I mentioned, that is open now. You should have received an email to your Bentley email address. If you have not set up your Bentley email account yet, that is okay. You should have your instructions in your personal email. So whether that is connected to your high school or something that is a personal email, it should have gone there. If for some reason you no longer have those instructions, if you email our help desk at bentley.edu, and if Caroline, if you don't mind throwing that in the chat so folks have that email address, you can reach out to them and they will resend those instructions to help you set up that account. That email is really important for you to pretty much navigate any of these tasks, and especially in preparation as you're getting ready for course registration. So that is an essential task that we really encourage folks to get done right away. And like I said, if you have questions about that, you can just email our help desk and they'll walk you through that. I'd love to open it to our panelists to see if there is any advice that you would share to our First Falcons. I know we shared a lot of resources, and I know we're excited and we're encouraging our First Falcons and their family members to really engage in the community. But I'd be curious if you were to give one tip or one bit of advice to our new Falcons, what might that look like? That might help us to think about some other questions that folks have.
I can start. I would say ask for help. If you don't know something, I can guarantee you there are plenty of other people who don't know it also. You are not the only person. You might feel like everybody else knows what's going on. I'm the only person who doesn't know what's going on. That is not true. No one knows what's going on. So please, please ask for help. There is no such thing as a stupid question. We all want to help students so much. It's our jobs to help students. And one of the hardest things about my job in particular is that getting students to actually take us up on the help that we want to provide. And so I would just, whether it's a question about your financial aid, a question about your housing, a question about registering for classes, a question about where your classes are, literally anything under the sun, just ask. And you're gonna have a lot of people you can ask. You can send your questions to the GA_orientation at bentley.edu for now. Once you get into orientation on campus, you can ask questions to your orientation leader. They're a resource for you throughout the entire year. You can stay connected to that student. You're going to meet your academic advisors as part of registration process in July. You can reach out to them again and again. I would just do not be afraid to reach out for help would be the one thing that I would say.
And just to piggyback off of that, I would say that for you to reach out to your peers. There are folks who are just like you. You still have the same emotions and feeling the same sort of way, a bit anxious and, feeling all kinds of different things when you first get onto campus. So don't feel afraid to reach out to them because they're feeling exactly the same. You could make a friend or two during the first week. So the power of connection through your peers is quite powerful and quite strong. And I can give you an example of, I was an international student many, many years ago. And I came to the US from Sri Lanka, really not knowing anybody or anything. But when I looked around the first week, I saw many scared faces, just like myself. And I just got up the courage to reach out to them, just a few. And I have connections up until now. So 25 years down the road, I still have a few connections from my college days. So that really does go a long way. And I really encourage you to reach out to your fellow peers.
Take advantage of all the involvement opportunities. We have an activities fair at the very beginning of the fall semester, so students can go to that, meet new students, get involved in different organizations on campus. And your orientation leader, your peer leader, if you're afraid to go by yourself, they'll be happy to go with you too. So you'll always have some people who want to go to lunch or take advantage of those opportunities with you as well.
I think a lot of great advice has been shared. And I would say, when we share reach out for help, I would also share, like, reach out to us and tell us your story. We're curious about you. We want to know about you. We want to know what home looked like for you. We want to know what it's like to be on Bentley's campus. One of Bentley's core values is care, and we care deeply about you. We care about you. We care about your family and your support system. So share with us who you are. And when you reach out and you're seeking help, it helps to be able to have a little bit of information to support you. I think in addition, you'll see us in the hallways, you'll see us in the dining hall, you'll see us in the residence halls, you'll see us on the green spaces on campus. Say hello. We sometimes look like the adults, who work at Bentley. We're human and we love to know people. Bentley's a super relationship driven place, and we're excited to build a community with you. We spend a lot of time on our campus, and we're excited to have you to come to our campus, and we're really excited to have your families join us too. So don't be a stranger. We're exciting. And we may seek you out and ask you questions and say hello. Don't be embarrassed. We're just curious about you and really want to build your connections on campus.
Wonderful. I feel like these are all such helpful tips of advice. And, I think something that I always like to share with all new students and families is that this is a significant change and new chapter of your life. And there's no one way to feel or think about this. This is a huge accomplishment to be at this point. And I think sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm not going to miss home, or I'm not going to feel homesick, or I am going to just work my job and not get involved, or I don't think I'm going to need to study all those hours for my coursework. And I think sometimes we just don't know what the experience is until we are in it. In all things, right? Multiple things can exist and be true, but just know that you have a community that is here to help you succeed. We want to see you succeed. We want to help be a part of that journey for you. And we need you to step into that, right? So we can provide you as many resources and opportunities as possible. But we also are going to look to you to really step into that space and to really be a part of this and make this experience what you want it to be, because the sky's really the limit with it. And we just really can't wait to help your stories be woven into the history of Bentley and really just help to make this an even better experience for everyone that is here in this community. So really just want to thank everybody so much for being here with us today and spending a little bit of time together. We recognize that we have provided a lot of content. So as you may be reviewing this or thinking back on this, you may start to say, hey, you know what? I actually have a question about some of that. So I did want to just go ahead and put up one more quick slide. So as I mentioned, we do have that new Falcon question form that I reflected about. If my slide wants to progress right here, it doesn't really want to work for me right now. Oh gosh. But this is an opportunity for you to be able to ask us any questions that you may have. And I don't know why my slide deck doesn't want to work for me right now. Caroline, would you by any chance be able to post the link up in the chat? Thank you. You are on it. So while I don't have the QR code, Caroline, so kindly just put up that link directly in the chat. So please feel free to fill out that form. We can help to get you connected with Jane or Nalangi if you have questions and not sure where to reach out. I know that they've provided their contact information as well. But when in doubt, feel free to fill out that form and we can get you connected with the resource on campus. But thank you so much. Thank you for choosing Bentley. Thank you for being a part of this experience today with us. And we can't wait to see what this journey has in store for you. And we just look forward to meeting you in the fall. Thank you all so much.